Anyway, Ed is a 24-year-old Air Force veteran who continues to serve in the Air Force Reserves. He is a very successful serial entrepreneur who lives here on the island full-time. He has served on a number of boards and commissions, such as an ethics commissioner, civil service commissioner, chairman, chamber boards, police foundation boards, and was the president of the Williamson County Republican Leaders and vice chair of the Wilco 100 PAC. He has been a precinct chair twice, and he has served multiple times as delegate to county, senate district, and state convention. Please help me welcome Ed Humans.
Thank you all. All right, let me get discombobulated here. If we can have our first two candidates come up to the front and grab a seat. Go ahead. All right. Like we said, each candidate has been provided the rules and has agreed to the terms to participate this evening. Candidates are aware that the location is open to the public and that it may be recorded and should always act in a professional manner. Starting order will be drawn prior to opening statements. Each candidate will have 3 minutes for an opening statement in the first forum and 3 to 5 minutes in the second forum, which isn't this one. Time cards will be used to identify the 30 seconds, 15 seconds, the end, and then I will, as politely as possible, cut it off. So we'll leave it at that. Thank you. If candidates address another candidate, they can request a 2-minute response one time. Again, the time cards will be used. All questions have already been submitted and closed. I have them, though, we're going to be randomly put into the jar. I've only read them to make sure grammatical and I can understand what some of this chicken scratch is. And we're going to pick up to 5 questions. This is a 30-minute segment. And obviously, we're going to start with the judge for the 28th Judicial District. We have 2 candidates, Miss Laura Allison Ramos and Mr. Michael McCauley. You should be able to, turn that on. All right, the winner has a 3-minute opening statement, so 3 minutes starting now.
Hi, my name is Michael McCauley, and for those of you who do not know me, I am running for the 28th District Court. I hope you'll agree after listening to me tonight that I'm the most qualified and the most experienced candidate running for the 28th District Court. My professional resume is extensive. After graduating from college, I came back to Corpus Christi and started my own business. I was a business owner for 12 years, and then I sold my business and went on to law school. After law school, I came back to Corpus Christi and worked at the district attorney's office where I was a prosecutor. And then after that, I was hired away by a local law firm, the firm I'm with now, and I've been there almost 17 years, handling civil litigation and business law, real estate, transactional matters. So the breadth of my experience is extensive, from everything from a business owner, which I think is critical to be able to be a judge, because you're going to have businesses come in front of you and you need to understand the nuances of their situation. And then I have my prosecutorial experience. Criminal matters are going to come in front of the court, and there's some family law matters that are going to come in front of the court, and then there's a lot of civil matters that come in front of the court. So my experience across the board is extensive. And I believe, I hope you will too, that I have the most experience of any candidate, whether on the Republican side or in the Democrat side. So, and as Susan pointed out earlier, the key thing is we need to elect a candidate in March who can then win in November. That's the goal of Republicans, is we would like to win in November. So for that reason, I think I'm the most qualified and the most experienced, and I'm the most capable candidate who will win in November. I get asked a lot about why I want to be a judge. Well, that's an easy question for me, because I love practicing law, absolutely love it. I love my time at the district attorney's office, absolutely love that, and I love law school, and the main thing about that is I love reading and analyzing the law. I love that in law school, and I think that has to do with, because I was an older and more mature student, my contemporaries in law school were right out of college and out having fun, and I was 12 years behind me at a job, and so I had the experience and the maturity needed to really understand the legal issues that we were learning, and I really absorbed them. Is that 2 minutes? 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Oh, shoot, I better wrap it up. So, sorry, I'm not wearing my glasses, I'm sorry. And in addition to all of that, in addition to my experience and my conservative values, I am the most conservative candidate in this Republican primary. I love this country, I love God, family. I don't think judges should decide law from the bench, and I think we should support the Constitution and the rule of law. I appreciate your time and I appreciate your vote.
Thank you. Ms. Ramos, you have 3 minutes for your opening statement.
Thank you. Good evening, and thank you for having me today. I don't know many of you, and I look forward to meeting more of you as the evening progresses. I am a solo practitioner, so I practice in private practice, and I have done so for 12 years. I'm 37 years old. However, I started my career in criminal justice. I graduated from Toloso Midway High School. I went on to Texas A&M Corpus Christi here. I'm an Islander, and I graduated with a criminal justice degree and a focus on the court system. So my love for the court and for the justice system has been lifelong. I also, I'm sorry, my experience is 12 years of criminal law, civil law, family law, and district court experience. I have district court experience in the state as well as in federal district court. I'm on the CJA panel for the Southern District of Texas. I am also on the Nueces County Criminal Justice Panel wheel, and so I handle cases, and I'm in court every day. I am in district court, and in the 12 years that I've practiced, I have not had the pleasure of seeing Mr. McCauley in court at all throughout my 12 years of practicing law, and so I am in court, and I am working. And I feel that is one of the that is what makes me the better candidate, is that I'm there and I know what is needed and what makes a fair judge. I also practice in other counties and in other states. I practice administrative law, immigration law, and that takes me to other states. And I know what it takes to be a fair and impartial judge. And I feel that I am the right candidate because I do actually have the court experience and the experience needed to run the 28th District Court. Thank you.
Thank you.
Second rebuttal that?
Sure, we have a 2-minute rebuttal starting now.
Okay, so to her comment about she's never seen me in court before, we don't see a lot of attorneys in court. You know, we're going to court, we're doing our thing, and we're leaving. And we're not sitting there all day long. So I absolutely have 30 plus years of experience, my entire adult life, doing everything from a small business owner to district attorney. And in the district attorney's office, the courtroom is your office. And then all the way through to doing civil and transactional law. You know, a civil attorney, a civil defense attorney, or excuse me, a transactional attorney does a lot of transactional law. And then a litigator does litigation, and I do both. So I have the ability to understand both the transactional side and the litigation side. But so I will say in my entire adult life, which is almost more than she's been alive. I have all the breadth of experience needed to, on day one, hit the ground running on day one. And I don't need to learn anything about being a judge because I have the experience, the life experience that is needed to be a good judge. And I have the temperament to be a good judge and the understanding. That's the key thing, the understanding of complex cases. Lots of cases are not just simple pleas. They're complex, and you have to understand that. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, I'm gonna randomly shuffle the questions. We're gonna pull them and we're gonna go as time allows. Again, it's a 2-minute answer and then potentially a 2-minute rebuttal and 1 rebuttal each as we go through the questions. All right, first question, of course, is the one with the toughest handwriting. All right, Miss Ramos, your voting record begins in 2004, and you only voted in 2 primaries, 2016 and 2020, both in a Democrat. Also, Nanette Hassett, current Democrat judge, is your aunt. Having such a strong Democrat history, why run on the Republican primary? You have 2 minutes.
Yes, Judge Hassett is my aunt, and she is a Democrat. My family is comprised of Democrats, Republicans, Muslims, Catholics, lesbians, straights. We are a diverse family, and I'm proud of that. As a judge, we're to be impartial, and that is very important, that we don't treat others with disrespect because they have different views from us, and I think that is the most important thing. Also, we have victims that come forward, and they deserve justice. And that is something that a judge needs to be fair and impartial, treat victims right, treat defendants correctly, listen to probation, listen to those that have concerns. And that's my goal as judge, is to listen. And as far as politics, I am new to politics, and I apologize for that. I'm new to this situation of being, thrown into the limelight, and I'm not used to it. So it does, I am young, and it takes something this is something that I need to get used to, and I'm ready for it. As far as my aunt being a Democrat, we don't bring up politics at the family table. It's not something that we discuss. And I feel that I align much more closely with the Republican Party. I'm for God, freedom, and family. I want to be that diverse conservative that young Hispanic females look up to, and I feel that I'm right for that.
Did you need a rebuttal?
Okay. Well, it's easy to do the bullet points about the conservative values, but I have lived the conservative values. Again, not to make light of my opponent's youth and inexperience, but my voting record is actually longer than she's been alive. And I have been consistently voting in the Republican primary. My first vote for president was for President Reagan in 1984. So that's a little while ago. So I didn't want to do math tonight. But Reagan was the impetus for me being a conservative. And I've lived that for the last 40 years. And so there's no bullet points or talking points that I'm using. This is my life. I've lived this, and I've voted in every single Republican primary for a couple years, 40. So I think my record speaks for itself, and I'm just not using talking points to say I'm a conservative, because I am a conservative. And I think, again, we want conservatives on the bench. Conservative values. We want people who will not legislate from the bench, who will respect the Constitution. The Constitution is the law, and the legislature makes the rules, and judges should not legislate from the bench. We want to respect the rule of law, and we want to honor the family, and honor faith, and honor God. We want to do all these things as conservatives to uphold the conservative values and move those forward. And I thank you all for your support.
All right, this is to both candidates. Do you support Trump? We will go with Mr. McCauley first.
We can't answer.
Agreed?
What the heck, everybody support Trump?
Is either candidate willing to answer the question?
Can I just answer what? The code of candidates prohibit judicial candidates from.
As long as y'all are in agreement, we'll move on.
We've got some judges who don't agree with me. That's an ethical violation.
All right, folks, we're going to keep going on with the next question. It looks like we have about 15 more minutes of this section. This is to both candidates as well. What significant changes will you bring if elected? Since Ms. Ramos had the first question, we'll with Mr. McCauley to answer this the first time.
Well, significant change, since we're not running against an incumbent, there's really not a whole lot of change, quote, change needed in the court. So what we need to bring is the experience, because the incumbent is obviously the aunt of my opponent, but she's not running for re-election, so it's not like we're running against an incumbent. So I would just say you want to bring the experience and the integrity to the court, and the lifetime of experience. Remember, I ran a business for 12 years. I've been in private practice running a law firm for the last 17 years. That's a lot of experience coming to the bench. Remember, a judge is not only ruling on the law. A judge is a mini office manager. You know, the judge has a budget that's in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, and the judge is the one who is in charge of the courtroom. So you have people you have to manage, and so I think my life experience from that standpoint helps me be able to manage the courtroom, manage a docket, and manage all the things that are necessary. So from a change standpoint, I don't know there's necessarily any change, just progress and bringing things to the future, possibly looking into some more technological issues that will help the court and help our people who come before the court.
Thank you. Ms. Ramos, if you'd like to answer, you have 2 minutes.
Yes, thank you. So again, I agree with Mr. McCauley's answer, and I maintaining the integrity and the focus of the 28th is very important and at the forefront of my campaign. My aunt has always been an honest and efficient judge, and right now Nueces County has a backlog of cases that started with COVID. We also have people that are defense attorneys that need to get paid, on time. We have people that are working with probation, defendants that need to become rehabilitated, and there are many aspects and avenues that the court needs to be focused on. And my goal is to continue with that. I am in court. I am in district court. I've handled motions to revoke, and if you look me up on Nueces County website, you can see I have hundreds of pages of cases that I've handled in district court. I've looked at Mr. McCauley's track record in district court, and he has not handled as many cases as I have. And I'm there, and I know what needs to be done. I know who needs to be listened to, and what I need to do to make the 28th a great court.
Thank you. All right, we have 2 minutes for rebuttal.
So quick comment about our experience. So I also looked at Ms. Ramos's history. So most of her cases she's handled in district court have been pleas, criminal pleas. She's a criminal defense attorney. And as we know, in the last 7 years in her last administration, everything pled out. Nobody went to trial, nobody did anything. So everything pled out. So Ms. Ramos may have a few more check marks in the laundry list on the court's website. But those are not cases. I have over 200 active cases right now that I'm working on. Those are active cases. Those are not pleading out. These are civil litigation cases that we're working on. So that takes a lot of time and energy and experience to handle that docket, of my own docket. Whereas Ms. Ramos is handling mostly criminal, all criminal for that matter, in the district court, and those are being pled out, criminal pleas. So I don't think you can really put up her laundry list of cases against mine and compare apples to oranges. I mean, apples to apples. It's apples to oranges.
This appears to be for both candidates. Ronald Reagan once said, "The founders knew that the courts, like the Constitution itself, must not be liberal or conservative." How will you apply the U.S. and Texas Constitutions to your decisions as district judge? We'll go with Ms. Ramos first. 2 minutes.
So first and foremost, in district court and as well as in federal district court, we have the rule of law, and that is governed by the United States Constitution and the Texas State Constitution. So again, as Mr. McCauley stated, it's not any judge's job to legislate from the bench. It is simply to make rulings based on the laws that are put forward, and that would be my aim is to do that.
So, yes, we have to honor the Constitution. So the Constitution of the United States, as well as the Constitution of the state of Texas, as well as the statutes and case law that comes out of Austin and all of the courts around us, that's the law. And so the law is the law. And so it's not up to a judge to make up their own mind as to what the law should say. It's up to the judge to say what the law does say. And that's the whole legislation from the bench when a judge decides they're going to have a predetermined outcome, and they're going to sort of maneuver the case to reach that outcome. And that's the activist judges that we see that as a conservative we don't like, because the Constitution says what it says. It's not a living, breathing document. It's not supposed to change to reflect what somebody thinks it should be today. It is a document that we respect, and we're going to honor both the Texas and the United States Constitution, as well as all the law that comes from that.
All right, this is for both candidates. What are your goals as a district judge? We will go with Mr. McCauley first. You have 2 minutes.
Well, my goal is simple. I want to be the best district judge in Nueces County. No offense to our friends out here in the audience. But I want to bring all of my lifetime of experience, which is immense. I mean, I hope you all agree. I mean, I've just touched on my experience, but I want to bring all of that to the bench. And I want to bring that for the citizens of Nueces County. I mean, every one of you all has a potential of showing up in district court. I mean, you may sit here and think, I don't care who the judge is. I don't care. I'm never going to be in district court. Well, God forbid you're a victim. God forbid you're a friend of a victim or a family member victim, or God forbid you get sued. You want the judge to have a lifetime of experience needed to do a good job, to rule on the law. So my goal is simple. It's simple. Be a good judge, be the best judge, and follow the law. And in addition, be respectful, bring integrity, and do all of the things, move the docket. My opponent mentioned COVID, which is still percolating. We've got to move the docket and get things moving and clean up the docket and be efficient. And again, I think my 30 years of business background and legal background brings that experience to the forefront as far as my managerial experiences that I have to be able to manage a large docket in a large courtroom.
And my goal is to know the law and to apply the law and to be impartial and to listen to everyone that is involved in the system and to make it fair for everyone and a pleasant place to work. The 28th District Court, just the same as the 319th or 347th, we deal with people that are there each day. And so I feel that I can relate to those individuals and to be, and I know, how to listen and what is needed to run the court efficiently. I'm a hard worker, and I always have been. I'm an early starter. I'm gonna get there early, and I'm gonna do what I need to do to get things done and to listen and to make it fair for victims, make it fair for defendants, make it fair for everyone involved in the system. And thank you.
All right, we have time for one more question. All right, this is for both candidates. How does your legal experience prepare you for the role of district judge? Ms. Ramos is up.
So I have a lot of experience in different aspects of law. I have handled family law, I've handled civil matters, I have handled criminal matters, I've handled immigration administrative law matters, and I've done it in counties throughout Texas. I did miss one of these forums. I was not present because I was in Killeen, Texas, handling a matter on an eviction for a veteran, and so I handle landlord-tenant issues. I do a lot of immigration administrative work to get people here lawfully, and that is something that I do. I also handle criminal law matters. I'm a trial attorney. I take cases to trial. And I have tried cases in federal court. I have tried cases in JP court, misdemeanor court, and I feel that my trial experience would make me a good judge. And thank you.
Well, I think my legal experience is exactly what you need for a district court judge. I mean, as I've already articulated here tonight, not only my legal experience, but my business background. But my legal experience alone, I have been exposed to a wide range of legal issues, not just criminal, or not just family law, or not just civil. Everything under the sun I've been exposed to. And a district court judge at 9 o'clock in the morning might be dealing with a family law case. At 10:30 they're dealing with a civil case. At 1 o'clock it's a criminal case. Back to family law, back to civil. You got a trial going on. You're bouncing all over the page on your day-to-day basis. Well, that's kind of what I do right now in my private practice. I'm bouncing all over the place, dealing with various areas of the law, a wide range of areas of the law, not one area, a whole broad breadth of experience. And I have the real-world experience to actually be a good judge, which is what we want. And again, I think that legal experience, both being a transactional attorney as well as being a trial attorney, and also my former business experience, is what we need in the courtroom.
All right, thank you. We're going to move into the closing remarks. Ms. Ramos, you're up first for 3 minutes, and remember, if you need a rebuttal, please ask.
Again, thank you for having me here, and I do look forward to meeting and speaking with everyone individually. I do have the experience that's needed to run the 28th District Court. I am in court. I do practice law here in Corpus Christi, Texas, and I have my entire career. I have a strong love for the justice system. I started right out of high school, going into the criminal justice realm. And I enjoy it. I love it. It's something that I live every day. And I do enjoy the legal community that we have here in Corpus. I love the defense attorneys that I see every day, the family law attorneys that I deal with, the judges, and the environment that we're in. And I hope to be part of that and to continue that. And again, I thank you all for coming and for being here. And thank you for having me again.
And I would also like to thank you all for coming. This is amazing. This is a wonderful group. A lot of y'all came over the bridge and had to deal with that traffic, so thank you. Thank you, Suzanne, for hosting this event. This is wonderful. And also thank you for your endorsement and the group's endorsement. I really do appreciate that. That meant a lot to me, because that means that you have faith in my abilities and my experience to be the best judge. So with that, I think everything we've talked about earlier is sort of in a nutshell. We need an experienced judge. We need a judge who's going to be able, on day one, to be able to understand the laws, the cases that come in front of the court, which are a broad breadth of different areas. It's always different. And we need a judge who's going to be respectful of the people who come before the court, honor the Constitution, and be a conservative judge who's going to not legislate from the bench. So I believe that my lifetime of experience, and I am proud of my business experience, and that's why I keep referencing that. Because I'm not just a lawyer, I was a businessman before I became a lawyer. And for any of y'all who've ever started a small business, it's not easy, okay? It's not easy. Nobody gave that to me. I came back from college to Corpus Christi, a city that I love. I came back here on purpose because I love this city. This is my home. And I came back here and started a business, a very successful business, and I sold it after 12 years and went to law school. So I think that right there was a perfect springboard to give me the real life experience, the firsthand knowledge that's needed to then learn all of that, absorb all of that in law school, You know, as I said earlier, I laughed earlier, I said all my contemporaries in law school were still out partying because they just, you know, fresh out of college. Well, I had 12 years under my belt of business experience. So everything we learned in law school, I could relate to. I could really relate to it. And so I think that made me a better lawyer. And I know working in both the transactional side as well as the litigation side, as well as the criminal prosecution side, all of that has made me a good lawyer and will make me an excellent judge. And again, no disrespect to our judges in the room here, but I think I can be one of the best judges in Nueces County. And I appreciate y'all being here tonight. I really do. This means a lot to me, and I know it means a lot to Ms. Ramos and to Suzanne and everybody. So appreciate it. Thank you all, and I appreciate your help.
Before we let the candidates go, just a reminder, we encourage you all to stay for the second session. If you don't, make sure you close out your bar tabs, take care of the servers and all. And another round of applause for our candidates tonight.